In order to pass the NREMT exam, we have to understand what type of exam it is. Now, the EMT level and the paramedic level, these are adaptive exams. Simply put, there's a certain threshold that means you've passed the exam. You have to be at that level or above that level to actually pass the exam. Once the exam knows with 95% confidence that you are at this level or above it, you pass the exam. If you are constantly below that level when you're answering questions, that means you are not competent. And what that means, you have failed the exam, and you'll see you would get below passing or near passing in the categories on NREMT if you've gotten that letter. These are your 5 content areas of NREMT. We have airway, respiration, and ventilation. That's our first section. We have cardiology and resus. We have trauma. We have medical/OBGYN and EMS operations. Airway, respiration, and ventilation. Remember with that, the airway steps. So remember, it's always BLS before ALS. With cardiology and resus, you gotta know your American Heart Association guidelines for whatever level you are trained up to. Trauma. Do you know the main signs and symptoms that occur when we have a traumatic emergency? Do you know what the patient will need next? Very common in trauma. So medical and OBGYN. Okay, you gotta know your OBGYN emergencies, when they occur, signs, symptoms. This is medical. So we have trauma and medical. Remember we talk about we gotta know our medical and traumatic emergencies code and how they present, because those are going to be in the questions. EMS operations is everything surrounding operation of the ambulance, logistics of the ambulance. We're talking about different scenes that you may encounter. That's EMS operations. Now, I'm going to show you a few graphs right here on the screen. Here's it right here. This is the exact breakdown of the percentages of how much each section is on exam. This is exactly what you need to be studying. Here we have all 4 NREMT exams laid out. We have the level, the exam fee, the hours, the questions, and then the pilot questions. A pilot question, what that is, it means that NREMT has a bank of questions that they're testing out to see if they're going to be the ones that actually count on the exam. So check this out, my friends. On EMR, EMT, Advanced EMT, Paramedic, there are 30, 10, 35, and 20 pilot questions that do not count towards your score, but you're going to see them on the exam. Pretty crazy, right? Now here it is. We have the exam fees here, $85, $98, $136, $152. You can see every level you go up, you get an extra 15 minutes. Now remember, with the questions, there's a range on EMR, EMT, and Paramedic because they are adaptive exams, meaning, remember, we have to get over that level and show with a 95% confidence that we are competent enough to pass the exam. Now, the linear exam is what they call it, is the Advanced EMT. It's a standard exam. You take all 135 questions, you've passed or failed. Now, how long should you study before the exam? You should study at least 3 weeks out. I've had some students of mine that got on my course. They're able to pick it up in a few days, but I don't recommend that. I recommend studying at least 3 to 4 weeks out. A month is perfect, but at least 21 days at 3 weeks. Now, a lot of students say, I have a hard time concentrating. I have a hard time focusing. I have some students that actually have ADHD. What can you use to better focus when you're studying? If you YouTube up alpha waves are brain waves that help you concentrate. I even use them myself when I'm working on projects. Alpha waves. Now, no cramming. 24 hours out, I want you doing nothing but relaxing, doing an activity you love, rest, drink water, hydrate before the exam. That's all I want you to do. No studying. We're doing this weeks out, so we don't have to cram. Now, I want to talk to you about practice test questions. Practice test questions only assess the knowledge that you currently have, and this is why I believe so many people have a hard time passing NREMT. Maybe when they get out of school, they don't have the knowledge necessary to pass the NREMT. And then what happens is they're taking a bunch of practice test question apps and they're assessing their knowledge over and over and over again, and you think that you're studying, you're not studying content. You're just answering questions and assessing your skills. You need to be studying a content source in order to make yourself smarter, especially if you are just coming off a failed attempt. This is the exact reason why I created the Video Vault, to help you prepare and pass your national registry exam at every level that we talked about here, from EMR all the way up to paramedic level. Once you get access to all 420 videos, lifetime access, and access to our community group with thousands of students where you can ask questions while you're studying. That is the first link in the description down below. I will see you inside there, and I will catch you in our next video. Let's go.